and welcome to the weekly MANcast.
We're moving through yet another week.
Yes.
It seems like we just don't stop.
No, you see, we're always bringing you fresh content with a fresh take on life.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this episode was recorded 8 weeks ago.
Yes, we're that far in advance.
Yeah, no.
No,
I'm just saying they're going to take 8 weeks to notice that the episode's up.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's how it works.
The averages, yeah.
Yeah, averages.
The average viewer is going to...
The law of averages, I think that's what, differentials and integrals are all about.
Yeah, no, yes.
Mathematics.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, so this week we're going to be talking about the life cycle of laptops as of recent.
Because the predicaments that buyers face when they're trying to buy the ever useless but useful laptop.
Yes, because, laptops are totally required in everyday, activities.
Yes.
Running requires a laptop now.
It does, because you have to track a lot of statistics.
Yeah.
All right, so don't stick around because that's not the phrase I use anymore, but
stick around.
Now, the modern-day laptop buyer faces kind of a dilemma when they're going to go actually buy themselves a new laptop.
Hey, but they're not laptops anymore, Phil.
Oh, you're right. Actually, they're called notebooks now. Laptop, the word laptop, is a thing of the past.
And the reason why they switched the name was because back in the day there was a lawsuit because laptop assumes that you can put the laptop on your lap and not have a problem. But with the modern day processors overheating all the time, it actually caused male to go infertile because it would heat the
genitalia?
The genitals up and then make them become infertile from all the excessive heat there.
Interesting. I wonder if you could also sue them if you take a pen and write on your screen because you thought it was a notebook.
Maybe.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. Let's see if we can sue some computer companies.
Yes, let's do that. First, though, let's look at the dilemma of the laptop purchaser.
Notebook purchaser. Yeah. So the first thing they face is, do I want a Mac or a PC?
Right. Now, if they're a dumb shit and they want something that's not going to work very well, is going to cost twice as much, and is going to look like... Actually, they do look pretty nice now, and we'll give them that.
Yeah.
But then they get an Apple, and they pay lots of money for it, and they get great customer service, and they pay a lot of money for it.
And then, they spill some water on it, and then Apple's like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't cover that.
Or alternatively, something breaks, and they take it into Apple, and they say, oh, looks like you have water damage, and you say, what?
Oh, you mean the humidity outside can fluctuate enough to perform condensation inside my laptop, huh?
No, that's just silly.
That doesn't work. No.
Okay, so, assuming they decide to go the correct route and buy a PC...
So now, you've decided that you want to forgo the whole $250 extra tax for getting a Mac.
Yes. Okay, so that's good. You made a step in the right direction. Of course, you kind of went awry when you decided to buy a laptop in the first place, but we're not going to worry about that right now.
Yes.
So let's see. You're getting a laptop, and what are you going to use it for? Well, most people use them for internet browsing, word processing, maybe they watch a movie or two.
Let's be honest, you're getting a laptop because you want to look at Facebook in the middle of class.
Exactly. Or occasionally play Farmville if you're one of those people. So what can a buyer expect if they're going to buy a laptop? Like say they want something with moderate power. What are they going to want to do?
Well, most laptops nowadays fall into a couple categories. You have your notebooks, which are just your everyday laptops. You can bring them places. They're a little bit heavier, about 5 to 10 pounds, but they can do word processing pretty well. They can handle internet pretty well. Flash games are iffy, just because you don't want to spend too much.
Yeah.
Then you have your gaming class laptops, which is kind of an oxymoron because you don't game.
No, you just get the hardware. It's too expensive. It gets too hot. It just doesn't work.
Those things weigh like 80 pounds.
They weigh 80 pounds. They have like a 17-inch screen, which makes them huge. impossible to carry anywhere unless you're like going to a LAN party or something. That's probably the purpose.
And they overheat.
They overheat like crazy because they got really big, nasty hardware in them, and that just doesn't work with passive cooling.
And the thing with most notebooks is that all cooling is passive. So instead of having a direct heatsink on your processor or graphics processor, you have a heat pipe to it. Mm-hmm. And it's just one heat pipe.
And typically they don't have fans. Sometimes they will have fans.
Yeah, most have fans. It's just not direct onto the processor. Mm-hmm. So
heat pipe technology is pretty good these days, but it's not going to be quite as solid.
Yeah. And then the other class you have is your netbook.
Yeah.
We don't talk about netbooks.
These days, the term netbook refers to pretty much anything up to like a 13-inch screen.
Yeah, in fact, netbook, I believe Intel has patented the word netbook.
Oh.
And they actually control what notebook becomes a netbook.
Which, it's honestly, these days it seems stupid, because the point of a netbook is that it's something cheap and small, small, very portable, that you can carry around and browse the net. Although nobody really calls it a net anymore.
It's just a web.
Don't worry about that.
We'll call it a web book now.
A web book. I like that.
We should patent that.
A web-book.
A
1B. A web-book.
And then we can shorten it down, like web blog has been shortened down to blog.
So, book.
Yeah, we'll just call it a book.
Alright, that is now a trademark of the Weekly MANcast. Don't try and use that anywhere.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, Barnes & Noble. Anyway, so basically netbook doesn't even really have meaning anymore, because anything could be a netbook.
Yeah, actually, when I got my most recent notebook, it was considered a netbook because of the processor.
Yeah, and it's got, what, a 13-inch screen on it?
No, it's got a 15-inch screen
15-inch screen. That's standard notebook size. That's even bigger than a lot of people's notebooks.
Yeah, well, the original, some of the older notebooks used to have like 14-inch standard definition
which
screens,
are
which were
really
like,
small.
Yeah,
I mean your netbook even has a keypad, a number pad on it.
Well, yeah, I need that.
I know, but I mean it's a netbook. Yeah. Typically they're like this.
They're like usually like 70% keyboards.
So those are generally cheap, and they don't do anything very well because they're really, really underpowered.
But which is great because then you can't get distracted.
Yes. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But their battery life is usually decent because their stuff is so low voltage, low power. So if you want to browse the web and do word processing, that's the way to go.
But you can't do it at the same time.
Right. Yeah, don't worry about multitasking. That's not going to happen. Now, if you actually want to get some work done, you're going to need something with a little more power. Then you sacrifice battery life for power, and so you have to get the extended battery, but then suddenly it's less mobile, and so maybe you want a bigger screen so you can do more work at a time, but then suddenly it's too big to carry around, so you may as well have gotten a desktop and saved $500 and gotten better performance, so...
And been able to easily upgrade.
Yeah, so ultimately what it comes down to is, unless you absolutely need to take it on the go, get a desktop. So this is the MANcast. We're doing awesome stuff. We just helped you out with some laptop stuff. Get a desktop, unless you need a laptop. Cool. Have fun. Hawkeye football starts next weekend. Go Hawks.
Weekly MANcast. Yeah.